Let's talk millionaire status. Becoming a millionaire, making $1 million, creating generational wealth. It's one of those things that I think most of us want, but most of us also have not created any action plan, a step-by-step guide, or a tangible goal to actually achieve millionaire status. And it's usually because you don't know how, you don't know where to begin. $1 million seems so far out of reach, you really just can't put your hands on it. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps to become a millionaire. And in tomorrow's video, I created a bit of a graphic that helps explain ways to become a millionaire so we can look at it in bite-sized chunks instead of this big, ginormous number that you think you'll never attain when you've probably already made $1 million 3 or 4 times over and you just aren't managing your money well enough to track it. That's your money or your life. I recommend you read that book. But anyway, let's get right into this. 5 ways you can become a millionaire. As always, if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll be right back with you. Hey YouTube, it's your girl, The Real Teddy Talks, educating you daily on entrepreneurship, your hustle and your grind, and building generational wealth. Today we're going to talk about 5 ways you become a millionaire. I'm going to start from 5 and work my way back to 1. And we're going to get right into it. So the first way is generational wealth. I speak on generational wealth. I haven't done enough videos on generational wealth, but I really want to talk about it more because I think it's so important for us to understand that making money and attaining wealth and leaving generational wealth are all 3 different things. You can have a high 6-figure, $200,000, $300,000 a year annual income, but your expenses, so just say you make $300,000 a year, that's a lot of money, right? But just say your expenses are $250,000 a year, then you're not making any money. You're not making any money difference than someone who's making $100,000 a year and they spend $50,000 a year. You guys are making the same amount of money. The first person may have a bigger house and a nicer car because they're paying for it, right? So creating generational wealth is nothing more than creating assets, cash, investments, stocks, bonds, real estate, digital products that are left to the estate, the ownership in companies. All of these things can be passed down and not timeshares, okay? Timeshare is not generational wealth. A whole nother topic for another day. Anyway, all of the first things I mentioned can be passed down generation after generation. Now, the trick with generational wealth is you must instill in those coming generations the same values and characteristics and fundamentals that you learned when you created the wealth in order for them to continue the wealth. Because it's not a self-turning wheel. If they don't have the proper habits and know-how and fundamentals to keep that money, then whatever you left your future generations will dwindle away. And to prove that, I think it's a high number, it's like 1 out of every 3 mega lotto winner. Ask your last multi-million-dollar professional athlete that's no longer in the game. Ask has-been type celebrities, entertainers, songstresses, all those people who had multi-million dollars. They lost their platform and they lost their money right along with it. The 4th and my favorite way to make $1 million is to perfect profit making in business. A lot of you have gone into business without the intent to make a profit. I'm not talking to you in this video and most of my videos because if you're not out to make a profit, then you're doing something else. And I won't even say it's a nonprofit because even a nonprofit needs profit. So your motives are different than making money and building wealth. And I'm sure there's videos out there for you that cover that. But for those of you that are in it to make a profit and create wealth and generational wealth and $1 million and more, then you must get into business with a profit-making strategy. You perfect that strategy using the most highest impact, least effort style, and you create something that can outlast you and that can work without you and with innovation and automation in mind. If you do those things when you create whatever business you're creating, the chances of becoming a millionaire are much, much better. The 3rd way to become a millionaire is multiple streams of income. I think, yes, I did a whole video on this and I'm just going to touch on the highlights right now. You have to create multiple streams. People have found out during this COVID-19 pandemic that if you didn't have multiple streams of income, you were threatened. I like to not have anyone have that kind of power to threaten me. I don't want ever to have, a main gig or one source of income that can ruin you should it disappear. You should have several sources of income that if you lost one, you'd feel it and you'd have to adjust, but it wouldn't be the end of you. So you need to have multiple streams. You need to be making money while you're awake, making money while you're asleep, making money while you're active, and making money while you're not. Multiple streams of income, when generated and generated in a multitude, will keep you earning profit, revenue, and it will get you much closer to millionaire status. Hell, I created a whole website on it, and a whole concept, a 365-day exit strategy, is based upon multiple streams of income. The second way to become a millionaire is to continually search for new innovations. That's you always looking for that next big thing, looking for that thing that's kind of coming up in the market, finding a way where you can take that idea and grow with it. The perfect example is there's this guy named Mac, and he's like the Divi go-to guy. And Divi is just basically a WordPress theme. And I use it for many of my websites, except for the 365-day exit strategy. I don't use Divi on that website because I wanted to create 365dayexitstrategy.com using a free theme. I use the Astra WordPress theme because I wanted to show people you can still create a beautiful website without paying for a theme. But back to my point. This guy named Mac, he's like the Divi guy. He has 1,000 Divi theme videos, how to do that. And I don't know his arrangement with Divi. I don't know it all, but I do know that he's developed a whole YouTube followership. So he gets ad revenue from that. And he also gets kickbacks or commissions from using his links in his bio. So he is the Divi guy. I bet you he doesn't actually work for Divi. I'm sure he's just a freelancer. But what a great concept. He saw this theme come out. I don't know if he was approached by them or he approached them. But he said, I'm going to be the Divi guy. He became the Divi guy. And he's probably making millions doing it. So you have to look at that the same way. What is something new that's coming out? Canva. I wish I had the time to use Canva Design Space and become the Canva girl because I love Canva. I use it all the time for most of my products, and I would love to be that person. I'm trying to do other things, but maybe one day you'll see me the Canva girl. And you heard it here first. Canva is pretty cheap now. People still use the free version. I pay like the $12 a month, but mark my words, Canva is going to go IPO here in the next year or two, and that monthly fee is going to be outrageous. I predict it'll be at least $50, if not $75 a month for Canva because it has so many useful tools, and most of us couldn't create our digital products without it. So they are just drawing us all in. So if you don't have your Canva membership, maybe you'll get some kind of early adopter discount, but mark my words, a year or 2 or 3, it's going to be I'm not going to say unaffordable, it's going to be expensive, but I'm still going to pay it, okay? But anyway, search for new innovations, cryptocurrency, that's another one. You can lose your shirt, you can lose everything in crypto, but you can also make some money. You got to learn the ins and outs of it. It's a great innovation. Blockchain is pretty amazing, but find out where you can get in, make some money, and get out. And try to earn your millionaire status without losing your shirt in the process. And the final way I want to discuss on becoming a millionaire is get the most return for the least amount of investment. A lot of us have been raised to believe that you have to work hard to get little in return. And that is just not true. You can work smarter, not harder. Find the thing that's going to give you an 80% return with 20% effort and do that. And if you're stuck on this wheel that you have to work hard and stay and grind it out and just do all this arduous hard work and unenjoyable work and do it for the family or do it for this thing, those are lies. Or do it for the family or whatever. Those are lies. Those are lies we've told ourselves, lies our parents have told us, lies that we grew up seeing and believing it. You know what? Tell a new story. Tell an easier story, tell a more thoughtful story, tell a story that's going to get you where you're trying to go, which is you can exert the least amount of effort to get the maximum return. And those are the millionaires. You don't see those millionaires stressed out, the hair falling out, and having heart attacks and all that. I mean, some do, but most don't. So I recommend you find a way to exert the least amount of effort for the biggest return, and that will get you closer to millionaire status. This was by no means an all-inclusive list. It's just the 5 ways that I think that it's easier to retain millionaire status. It is within your grasp. You just have to make an action plan and a step-by-step guide to get there, and then you have to actually work toward it every day. Invest in yourself just 1% a day, reach exponential greatness, and have phenomenal results at the end of the year. This is your girl, the Real Teddy Talks, signing off.